look, it's complicated, all this stuff, and I know that you really know this stuff at the highest level. Let's talk about crypto a little bit and how this sort of banking mess affects crypto. We've got Silvergate, we've got SVB, we've got Signature. It's very complex. Can you clarify how these all kind of work together?
Yeah, I mean, so the biggest issue right now, honestly, are Silvergate and Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley Bank held a lot of the money for the funds of the VCs that invested in crypto, right? So there's a ton of money there for the people who provide the support for the crypto industry. Silvergate also had a lot of those deposits, but the really important thing is something called SEN, the SEN network that they operated, and that's basically how all of the exchanges connect to bank accounts, right? It's one of the big networks that allow people to put dollars into into crypto exchanges.
Hmm. Okay,
So
well,
that is part of Silvergate, and that is gone right now, and that is one of the biggest issues right now.
this is a big issue, right? Because if you don't have liquidity, how are you going to operate your crypto business or your exchange or all these things? I mean, you're essentially taking away crypto banking, right? Is that correct for
Yeah,
the
that's a
U.S.?
lot of what it is. And the institutions used it primarily. They also used another product that Silvergate did, which was part of the SEN network. They had these Bitcoin backed loans that they had. So they were able to not just access Bitcoin for their institutional clients, but also it was a way to provide another use case for Bitcoin as collateral for these dollars, for these these dollar-based loans that were backed by Bitcoin. So we have a problem in terms of access into these exchanges. Like, you use your bank card, your little, your ACH thing, 75% of that was run through the SEN network. And that's not good. That's it's bad for institutions, but it's going to impact all of us.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So are we in a crypto banking crisis right now?
We have been in that since, I would say, 2014. We've had a constant problem with this. And if you guys remember from like 2016, 2015, when these big ICOs were happening, the big problem is the money would be raised in like Ether or even Bitcoin, and there was no way to transfer it into dollars. There's no off ramp. And that's what the banks have been, is the off ramp, on and off ramp, right? Like you can use dollars to get into these particularly centralized exchanges. And then you need some way to convert your crypto back into US dollars or whatever fiat you're using, because at the end of the day, you still have to pay your electric bills, your rent, or your mortgage, and all of those need to be paid in fiat. So having access to this pile of crypto assets isn't as useful until we can easily convert back and forth into dollars. And banks' reluctance to deal with crypto for a variety of reasons has been one of the big drawbacks. So every time we move forward, we seem to have some stumbling blocks moving backwards. And this wasn't caused by crypto risk per se. I mean, there was a decline in the market, but this wasn't like, this wasn't like, oh no, they used crypto and now everything is tainted. That's not what happened here.
Well, okay, so do we think that other banks are going to step up to fill the needs of centralized crypto entities?
I hope so, because, really the first one that fell was Silvergate, and that was more fallout from FTX, which is really fallout from Terra Luna. So as we see this spill out, this is how embedded the crypto industry it really is in the US and in fiat in general. That's how you can see it, is that it's spilling into the banking crisis. But that is not the reason, right, that the banks fail. The banks fail because they argued so hard to undercut regulation that they didn't actually have to undergo the audits that would have detected almost all of this stuff. Like most of this was so foreseeable, and it is because the banks want to do what they want to do in order to make money. It is exactly the reason that crypto even started, was because of what banks do in the first bank bailout. It's ironic that we keep needing banks I personally think we need to start operating without them, but that is just my opinion.